Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 comedy film that stars Chevy Chase, Richard Dreyfuss and Andy McDowell, and it is called The Last Laugh, and it is written and directed by Greg Pritikin. Now then, for those of you of a certain age, if someone says to you, do you fancy watching a comedy that stars Chevy Chase and Richard Dreyfuss, you would probably trip over on your way to pick up the remote control to go and watch that film, and I am definitely in that category. I am such a big fan of Chevy Chase and Richard Dreyfuss that when I learned of this film I was beside with myself with excitement. I think this is the first starring role for Chevy Chase since something like the year 2000. And that in itself is a bit sad, and I am perfectly aware that he's got a certain reputation in regards to Hollywood, Chevy Chase, and he's made a fair few stinkers over the years, but in my opinion he's an absolute legend, a comedy legend. And Richard Dreyfuss is, well, an acting legend and an absolute one of my favourite actors of all time. He's definitely in the top 10. He's just a fantastic actor. What is this film about? Well, this film focuses on Chevy Chase's character, who is a retired manager stroke agent for comedy acts. He's no clients left, basically, but his granddaughter Jeannie wants him to move into a retirement village, which he's completely against, but she manages to convince him to go and have a look at one. And when he gets there, they are met by one of the residents who's going to show them round, and it turns out to be Richard Dreyfuss's character, who is a client of his from 50 years ago. It was a budding comic that Chevy Chase, he was his manager, and he had a great future ahead of him as a comic, and he quit the biz and he became a podiatrist in Beverly Hills. So he meets up with him in this retirement village to become close friends, and it becomes clear that both of them are unsettled. They're not happy to just sit in this place and die slowly, so they hatch a plan. And Chevy Chase basically says to him, right, let's go on the road, let's do a comedy tour across the US. I'll book all the venues, I'll book you all the best venues, and you just knock it out of the park on stage. And he agrees, and that is basically this film. They set off around the country at some of the worst venues you can imagine initially, and slowly but surely the venues get slightly bigger. Along the way, Chevy Chase meets Andy McDowell's character, who is a free spirit, shall we say, who looks absolutely stunning still. She looked beautiful. I wasn't expecting that at all. Really, she did look amazing. And he falls for Andy McDowell, and she joins him along the way as well for this road trip across the country to do this comedy stand-up tour. That is basically the story of this film without going into spoilers. Right, what did I think of this film? Well, you could probably get a vibe here that I absolutely bloody love this film. I've just seen the score on IMDb and it's getting a 5.6 out of 10. What are you people doing who's rating this film? It was brilliant. If you were going to critically review this film, I can see there would be some potential issues with it, you know what I mean? But not all the jokes hit, and I don't know. But for me, to see Chevy Chase and Richard Dreyfuss on screen together, doing this, and I mean with exclamation points, doing this completely and utterly effortlessly. What they were doing was effortlessly. And I actually thought, when I saw the plot for this film without watching it, I thought it was going to be Chevy Chase who was going to be the stand-up and Richard Dreyfuss was going to be the agent. It was the other way around, and that completely spun me initially. I'm kind of like, oh, is that going to work? But he was hilarious, Richard Dreyfuss. I mean, he's always had that on-screen spark and funniness, and if you're not sure how funny he is, just go and watch some of his older films, Stakeout and this kind of stuff. He's got brilliant comedy timing, and it absolutely works. It really does. The chemistry between them was brilliant. Watching these two veteran actors absolutely crush it on screen. And I'm not kidding, guys, this film is right up there with one of the funniest films I've seen in a while. I genuinely was sat laughing at this many times throughout. It was really charming. It has a lot of heart, this film, and there's some great emotion in it. It goes down an emotional route, and I don't want to say what that is because I don't want to spoil it, but there's something happens in regards to an illness, and my first reaction was, oh no, I know where this is going to go now. And I thought it was going to get all sugary sweet, and really pull on the heartstrings and all this kind of like American comedies tend to do. And I thought, oh no, it's going to go down that route, really predictable. But it didn't. It absolutely didn't. It didn't wallow in it. It just moved on, and I just thought that was brilliant. It's not what I expected, and I really appreciated what it went down. And this film, taking everything else away from it, is just fun, and it's funny. Now, if you're not a fan of Chevy Chase, or you don't really watch his films, you might not appreciate him and his performance. It's quite quirky, very interesting approach to his performance, I have to say, but he was funny. Yeah, I think it's the best Chevy Chase performance I've seen for a long time. Genuinely, I think he really nailed it. Richard Dreyfuss was just brilliant too. Andie MacDowell, I thought as well, her appearance in the film was going to drag it down or add an element to the film that wouldn't have worked, but it was almost like adding another great ingredient to a great stew, and it really worked. I didn't think the chemistry between her and Chevy Chase was going to work, but it really did. So this is my first real hit of 2019. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, guys. I don't care. And if you watch this film and don't like it, I shall be coming round to see you, because I think it's brilliant. Only kidding, of course. So that's my review for The Last Laugh, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. Please check it out if you get a chance. It really is worth watching, and I shall see you next time on Screen Stars.